Are you ready? I'm ready.
Larry, am I supposed to have a monitor here?
Yes. Yeah.
Outside, you wonder if there's a place there for you.
Small but mighty Breau.
We are. Well, welcome everyone, and welcome all of you who have made it safely despite this weather this morning. We welcome those listening on YouTube now, and for those who will tune in later at a later date. May you be inspired and uplifted by today's message and music. If you're here for the first time, we invite you to look over an assortment of information at the rear of the church about what we have to offer here at Unity. And feel free to complete the short form available to allow us to email you about future events. We now have a couple of special announcements. To help make your Christmas even brighter and more jolly, please look at the bookstore where we're having a Christmas raffle with a Christmas gift basket, which will be drawn on December the 22nd. The tickets are only $2 for one or $3 for $5. Someone will really enjoy that basket. And also, if you're looking for a handout from Tony's message last week, please check out the table at the back of the sanctuary for a copy. And today, no doubt, I do not need to remind you, we have a town hall meeting and potluck starting at 12 o'clock till 1:15 today. And definitely do put this on your calendar. Thursday, December the 12th, our Christmas concert, 5:30 to 9 o'clock. Please all show up, and I'll ask for fantastic weather.
Excuse me just for a second.
Yes, certainly.
7:30 to 9 o'clock.
All right then. That sounds even better. We get to eat a bit first. 7:30 it is.
And a quick announcement too, extra additional special guests, Jake and Julie.
Fantastic. All right. Now's the time to affirm our vision, which is unity worldwide. Let's say this together.
A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
And our mission to help transform lives into a caring and loving world. Today is the first Sunday of Advent. It's a time of expectation and preparation for the arrival of the Christ. It includes the 4 weeks before the coming of the Christ child. Metaphysically, It is a time for increasing our ability to experience the divine or the Christ presence within all of us. The Advent wreath you see in front of you is made up of various evergreens signifying continuous life. The circle of the wreath symbolizes the eternity of God, the immortality of the soul. The pine, holly, and yew signify immortality, while the cedar signifies strength and healing. These 4 candles you see represent the 4 weeks of Advent. We focused on one attribute of our spiritual nature each week and call it forth into our conscious lives. This first week is the one of faith, and it invites us to consider what we believe and actively stretch and strengthen it. I would like to call up Sylvia now to light the first Advent candle of faith. Thank you, Sylvia. So let's stand now and sing.
O come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exaltation. Sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Yea, Lord, we greet thee, born this happy morning. Jesus, to thee be glory given. Word of the Father, now in flesh appearing. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Wonderful job, everybody. For such a small group.
Morning. Unity's foundation is affirmative prayer. That means that Unity defines prayer as the most highly accelerated mind action known. It is an affirmation of truth and a communion between you and all that is. Through prayer, the mind is renewed and circumstances transformed. If you wish prayer for someone else or for yourself, you're invited to use our prayer box up here at the front. And we ask that you just put a first name only on a piece of paper and place it into the box. There's no need to explain the explanation or any situation. This divine mind is all-knowing. It will be prayed over here at Unity by our prayer angels for 30 days and then sent on to Silent Unity for additional prayer. Remember 24 hours a day that you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY to reach Silent Unity where people have been praying with and for people for over 130 years. That's a lot of prayers. And if you wish private one-on-one prayer or the sharing of healing energy, our prayer chaplain will be available today in the prayer room, which is through the sanctuary and up the stairs. I think everybody that's here knows where it is today. Following the service, just take a seat on the chair, or Pauline will be there to greet you, because our prayer chaplain today is Pauline. And Pauline, could you come and lead us in prayer, please?
I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable, to go within to that center of spiritual strength, that core, that source of love and faith. Today we do remember Unity de Montréal, Unity of Montreal, Quebec. We also remember all those who are unable to be here, our faithful members who usually are here. We are so grateful that you made the effort to come through the ice and snow to be here. To those who are watching, to our Rev. Lori and Bob, to our members who are far away, we send our love and our abiding faith in Unity of London and in all that it stands for. Deep inside us is a truth we need to know consciously all the time. When we are centered in that truth, we know that all is well in our lives and in the world. When we are aware of our divine energy, there is not space for the problems to invade our lives. We find in that place the secret place of the Most High. We become still and we rest our attention on divine God life within. Today, we keep in mind all the spiritual centers and faith-filled people who are worshiping in their ways throughout the world, and send out our love to those people, to anyone in war-torn countries, to our homeless, those who are cold and hungry, here in our own city of London and elsewhere. We send love and comfort and the hope that people who have a lot will give a lot, and those who have a little will share the little that they have. I invite you now to whisper into our divine space the names of those you wish to pray for. Centered in prayer, we remember our divine strength and our energy, our strength, our stability, our spiritual source. And so it is. Amen.
Today's reading from the Daily Word, Hope and Faith. Christ awareness is born in me. Hope is the window through which I glimpse the good that is yet to come in my life. Feelings of hopefulness kindle my zeal, imagination, love, and perhaps more important, my faith. As my hope matures into faith, I begin to realize that the good that I am hoping for is already mine. The journey to Christmas is our shared human story of realizing our indwelling Christ presence. This journey begins in hope and faith. As I start growing in spiritual awareness, I begin to feel hopeful. I learn that the Christ, the image and likeness of God, is my spiritual nature. My hope for the future becomes my faith in the present as I celebrate Christ awareness alive in me and expressing as me. And from Hebrews 11, verse 1, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for the conviction of things not yet seen.
Last Christmas, we did this next tune, and I mentioned that when I was a kid, at Christmas time, my German grandparents, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we sang carols, a lot of carols over these days, and a lot of them. And this was one of my particular favorites, and I'd like to do, I'm going to do one verse the way we did it back with Grandma and Grandpa, and then I'll do a couple in English. The English version, I mentioned this last year too, but I think it's interesting. I went looking for the lyrics last year, and I discovered that there are, well, there's 12 Days of Christmas. There's probably 12 different versions of the song. So what I did was, I didn't find one that I thought was the perfect one, but I put 2 or 3 together. So if it's not exactly what you remember, that's why. This is for Milton Clarissa. God bless you. O Tannenbaum, du kennst mir sehr gefallen. O Tannenbaum, du kannst mir sehr gefallen. Wie oft erkniet der Weihnachtszeit, ein Baum von dir mir vorgefreut. O Tannenbaum, du kannst mir sehr gefallen. O Christmas tree, unchanging through the seasons. Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, Spirit has its reasons. Your leaves are green when summer's high, and also when the snowflakes fly. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, unchanging through the seasons. Oh Christmas tree, you are my inspiration. Oh Christmas tree, the spur to my elation. When oft rejoice Christmas time, your form inspires my song and rhyme. Oh Christmas tree, Spirit's kind creation.
You're in for a treat today. Katherine Breau. Katherine's a very enthusiastic and committed member of Unity of London, who is always encouraging people to embrace their best life by learning that happiness does come from within. Her passion to help people overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles in their lives comes from years of spiritual study and personal introspection. Katherine has experienced the depths of addiction, has overcome drastic financial loss, a cancer survivor, and overcoming deep long-term depression and PTSD. After an incredible spiritual experience that happened in 2017, Katherine has answered her calling to become a speaker and a coach, specializing in coaching people to have a happy and productive sobriety. Katherine recently achieved her bachelor's in metaphysical science from the University of Sedona, Arizona, and plans to continue on until she receives her doctorate. She facilitates a weekly class here at Unity and named A Course of Love, and she warmly welcomes anyone who may be interested to attend. Please give a warm welcome to Katherine Breau.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I guess we know it's December in Canada, don't we? Thank you for everybody that's come out today. We really appreciate you making the effort and walking through the fear of dealing with that ice. That's pretty scary stuff. So many of us are looking forward, including me, to a wonderful 2020 coming up. Even though the talk today is about living in the present, I anticipate an amazing 2020 coming up.
Today we're going to complete the review. Sorry. Today we're going to complete the review of that wonderful book by Louise Hay called Life Loves You. The last time I spoke, we combined Louise's message and Louise herself to Jesus' message and Jesus himself. And then we went beyond that and we looked at ourselves right in this room and said, how does our message reflect the messages we've received from Jesus? Well, today we're going to review a little more of Louise Hay's book, and we're going to see how closely it relates to Advent. The final chapter in Life Loves You, I'm sorry I forgot to, the final chapter in Life Loves You is Healing the Future. In a nutshell, Louise teaches the exact same message as Charles and Myrtle, as Jesus, and as countless other spiritual leaders. As they all awakened to the truth, where they discovered that there is nothing but the present moment. Every one of these teachers and leaders created and healed their futures by living in the spirit of faith, compassion, and love. And as we know, faith is, yep, I knew that was going to happen. No. Well, it's just lovely. Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta let go.
It does, yeah. Whether it's the light or not, right? So living the unity principles and spiritual laws guarantees us that there is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life. The power of good, or the power of love. Today is the first Sunday of Advent, and you know what that means. It's also the beginning of Christmas season. Now in Unity, we believe that Christmas is not an event that happened just once over 2,000 years ago. We believe that the birth narratives in the Bible and the stories that we tell cannot be taken literally. They're metaphysical truth. When we look at them from a spiritual perspective, they reflect the journey of our individual soul's journey and fulfillment. I believe that our Unity teachings have special relevance to us as we experience the seeming rise of darkness in our nation and in the world. The Advent ritual of lighting candles mirrors the process of our awakening to the Christ light within us. And it serves as a spiritual practice. We have spiritual practices in Unity, and Advent is one of them. And it's a practice for our individual awakening. In this holiday season, we remember that all of us are the hands, the face, and the light of the Christ within. Thank you for joining us this Sunday as we begin our symbolic journey through the 4 Sundays of Advent, where we will light the candles for faith, peace, love, and joy. Today we lit the candle of faith. Thank you, Sylvia. We imagine a flame. Just close your eyes for a moment and imagine a flame within you, within your heart, being ignited. This is a flame that never needs to burn out. This is a flame that can continue to grow as we continue to awaken. A burning desire for faith, peace, love, and joy every day of the year. This is an eternal candle. Just hold that vision for a moment. Feel the warmth, the energy, and the beauty of that feeling. The next part here was if you're new to unity, but I think we're all pretty set in unity. Let's just say if you haven't taken the time to or had the time to do much studying in unity principles and laws, then you might find some things that I'm saying about Christmas today to be kind of strange. So I just encourage you to continue on your journey of learning and studying the unity principles. Now I'd like to share what Charles Fillmore spoke of from a radio broadcast he did, and he titled it Unity and Advent, Looking Inward. Another meaning for the word Advent is also coming or arriving. So Unity and Advent, Looking Inward by Charles Fillmore. Unity has historically viewed the season of Advent as an inner search of mind and heart. Co-founder Charles Fillmore spoke of unity and Advent in a January 24, 1923 radio broadcast called Christ Mind, the Second Coming of Christ. He shared his thoughts on his understanding that Christ is an idea in divine mind, and he highlighted the universality of the Christ, the divine essence that dwells in every human being. As spoken to the radio audience, he said, I quote, "Like the idea of mathematics or music or any of the exact sciences, there is an idea of a perfect Christ in divine mind." Fillmore said people with preconceived human notions of the second coming are bound to be disillusioned. They are simply looking in the wrong place to discover Advent, he said. Once you understand the spiritual character of Christ's second coming, he said, then you find Christ within yourself. Fillmore drove home his understanding of true Advent in an apocryphal story about a follower of William Miller, who transitioned in 1849. Miller had prophesied that Jesus' second coming would occur between 1843 and 1844. The story he shared was about a farmer who was a Millerite follower, and that was the beginnings of Jehovah's Witness and Seventh-day Adventist. The man put on his ascension robe, and he climbed up on a stack of hay to await the second coming. And then he fell asleep. Well, some mischievous boys saw him sleeping and struck a match to the haystack, and it went up in flames. When the man suddenly awakened, he yelled out, "Resurrection morn! I'm in hell, just as I knew I would be." Fillmore found within the story the precise problem of human expectations. Isn't that wonderful? The human understanding of Advent was a personal construct rather than a truthful, divine one. Instead, Fillmore taught it is a metaphysical fact. As you think in your heart, so are you. He concluded that there is such a thing as Christ consciousness. He assured his listeners that the kingdom of God is within you, and that the more we search for that inner kingdom and comply with the law, the more we will know about the second coming. The second coming, Fillmore said, is right here, now. That was in 1923. So let's come back to 2005. And let's leap ahead back to our book, Life Loves You. Louise says, we're not separate from the universe. The universe isn't out there. The universe is us. We are the universe. And how we are being is how we experience the universe. So if your universe is not friendly, stop for a moment and ask myself, saying, how friendly am I? How friendly am I being on a daily basis? I know we don't want to live there, but it's just a suggestion. This is one of my favorite passages written by Louise in her book. I just, as you know, adore this woman. She writes, I ignite my life every time I do something new. Daring to step into new space is so exciting. I know that only good lies before me, and so I am ready for whatever life has in store for me. New adventures keep us young, and sending loving thoughts in every direction keeps our lives filled with love. 87 is the new beginning of my life. Isn't that beautiful? So can you see how thinking this way and learning to live this way in a higher consciousness, expecting only good things to happen, feeling excited about what your future holds, can allow you to stay comfortable and happy in the present? Makes sense, doesn't it? There's nothing to fear. Louise Hay experienced no shortage of adventures in her life, that's for sure. So I'd like to review some examples of her living in the moment and keeping the present fresh and alive and exciting. At age 50, Louise wrote the first version of her little blue book called What Hurts. At age 53, she rewrote the book and published it as Heal Your Body, and is now called You Can Heal Your Body. This established Hay House Publications, of which she had no experience and no concept of how to do. At age 56, she started the Hayride, a support group for AIDS patients and their friends and families. This continued for nearly 20 years and created countless healed futures. At age 59, she set up her charity foundation for AIDS recovery. At age 60, she founded Hay House. At age 75, she started doing yoga and worked it into daily classes. At age 80, she started ballroom dancing, which is something she had always wanted to do. And at age 81, she appeared on Oprah. At age 85, she started painting classes and created some absolutely amazing works of art before her transition at age 90. Her passion near the end became to demonstrate how beautiful the transition process is. And she lived that example and demonstrated to so many people the beauty of the transition process. While she was on the Oprah show at age 81, Louise spoke of a meditation practice called Blessing the World. And it's a Buddhist practice inspired by the practice of metta, which is a word for loving kindness, universal friendship, and benevolence. So the first is blessing yourself. There's enough love in you to love the whole planet. And it starts with you. If you would affirm with me, please. Today I move into my greater good. My good is everywhere, and I am safe and secure. The next blessing is,
I rejoice in everyone's happiness,
knowing there is plenty for us all. Life loves you, and I wish you infinite blessings today. And the last one, we are all lovable. Life loves us all. In love, everyone wins. Oh, sorry, one more. Together we are creating a world in which it is safe to love one another. Isn't that beautiful? Now, if you're thinking, well, that's all well and good, but what about suffering? Well, that is also recognized at the heart of Buddhism. The Buddha pointed to the cause of suffering coming not from life, but from us. He taught that we suffer because of what we do to ourselves and what we do to each other. Through loving kindness and compassion, we experience healing and are reunited with the natural harmony of the universe. Are you recognizing a common thread here? Yeah. Louise says life doesn't judge us. We judge ourselves. Life doesn't criticize us. We criticize ourselves. We also cause each other to suffer. When people stop loving themselves, they stop loving others too. And hurt people. To summarize what I've attempted to weave together today, let us review the universal message of our great spiritual leaders. This time of year that we call Christmas, seems to elevate our desire to express who we truly are without any reservations, without a second thought. And we just come from our hearts and our minds, and we're just ready to give and be loving. Charles Fillmore said, "People with preconceived human notions of the second coming are bound to be disillusioned." I read that already, but I wanted to read it again. "They are simply looking in the wrong place to discover the advent," he said. The second coming is here, right now. This is I wish it showed up better. This is a beautiful, beautiful painting by William Holman Hunt, who transitioned in 1910. It's symbolic of our metaphysical meanings for Christmas and for the second coming. Jesus was Christ consciousness in action. I think we know that by now. This painting has amazing metaphysical messages. The door symbolizes our minds. You will note that the door has no handle and therefore can only be opened from within, representing the obstinately closed mind. Note the many weeds depicting a long, unopened door. Jesus knew he was the light of the world. He has never stopped knocking. Are you ready to open the door? Right here, right now, today? Let's take that into meditation.
Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings, see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings, see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
As we settle into our heart space and relax into our chairs and allow that chair to just hold you and support you. And we just leave our minds for a while and just reside in our heart space of pure love, with that candle burning ever so brightly. I know that my true essence is love, divine love. Today I embrace all of my brothers and sisters in this love. I wrap myself and every man, woman, and child in this love. I have no enemies, imagined or real. I radiate blessings of love upon the planet. On the ground where I now stand, I declare my aliveness, my sensitivity to the good that surrounds and infiltrates me. I live authentically, ever attuned to intuitive guidance from within that expresses through me as originality, harmony, and wholeness. I welcome the preparation of my higher consciousness through meditation, affirmative prayer, contemplation, and loving introspection. I am open, receptive, and teachable. I move into my Christed state of consciousness with ease and grace. I am the light of the world. and we hold that with our hearts wide open, and that flame burning brightly, never to be extinguished in the silence. As we go out from here this week, we remember that all we have is this present moment. Our future is secure. There is only one power. And as we walk in that truth, we give and we receive peace, joy, and love. And so we let it be. And so it is.
Thank you, Catherine. What a great understanding of Advent. And I love our metaphysical viewpoint on life in general. Thank you so much. Now it's our time for giving and receiving of your tithes and offerings. Our unity principles teach us that we are one with divine source, and so we give not to source, but as source. Giving has been described as a spiritual practice of radical generosity, giving to what we wish to see flourish. Giving puts us in the flow of divine abundance. Back by the back door of the sanctuary on the wall, you will find the intention cards, and these may also be placed in the offering bag. This week, our prayer angels will uphold your intentions for what you want to achieve, whether as a plan for your day or for your life. I think they kind of go together after our talk today. Today plans your life. So now let us affirm our prosperity together by singing our offertory blessing.
Wine down through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. This tune is one that we wrote last year for Christmas Community, and we like it, and we hope you like it too. Hallelujah, Gloria, Hallelujah, Gloria, to the blessed birth of the Prince of Peace. Hallelujah, Gloria. No priest may see the battle's end, the swords to plowshares change. Inner peace is greater still, even harder to arrange. The Spirit offers all we need to meet a changing world. The faith and hope and charity, the flag of love unfurled. Hallelujah, Gloria, Hallelujah, Gloria, to the blessed birth of the Prince of Peace. Hallelujah, Gloria. You're hard to steal our souls, disregard our fears. Spirit offers sweet respite in love this time of year. Let's remember every day peace that makes us whole. It starts again each Christmas Eve when bells begin to toll. Hallelujah, Gloria, Hallelujah, Gloria, to the blessed birth of the Prince of Peace. Hallelujah, Gloria. We stand alone when troubles come, and so it often feels. The Spirit's grace has promised us our daily wounds will heal. We're not alone, we never worry when we lost our way. And the promise of the Prince of Peace comes true on Christmas Day. Hallelujah, Gloria, Hallelujah, Gloria, to the blessed birth of the Prince of Peace. Hallelujah, Gloria.
We bless these gifts and the givers of these gifts, knowing that the limitless supply of abundance continues to flow into our lives. We stand in gratitude that we may open more fully as channels, giving of our time, talents, and gifts to support the spiritual community and beyond. May we continue to live in grace and gratitude as we co-create a loving, giving world in the name of the loving Christ presence. May light, love, and power restore the planet on earth. Amen. Let's stand and sing.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can be undone. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present is what we're made of. I choose love. We are all part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
As we go forth this week, may we walk in faith, stretching and strengthening, knowing that we are divine, loving lights in this grateful world. Let's say our prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds me, I am light. The love of God enfolds me, I am love. The power of God protects me, I am power. The presence of God watches over me, I am presence. Wherever I am, God is, I am divine. Yay, God!
Spread the word of what unity can offer. Spread the word of the message that you heard. Spread the word of what it seems in your life. Spread the word. Spread the word. Spread the word. Spread the word. All the things we shared this morning. Spread the word. That you're surrounded here by love. Spread the word. Our doors and hearts are open. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. To anyone who's lost and lonely, spread the word. We extend the hand of love, spread the word. Spirit welcomes all who come to spread the word, spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. For what unity can offer, spread the word. We believe in peace and love, spread the word. Now our doors and hearts are open, spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word.
Thank you.